They didn't have a rich uncle. They didn't have a business degree. Most of them didn't even have a real plan. Just a Tuesday, a bit of spare cash, and a decision to stop waiting. Today I'm counting down 12 real businesses that were started with less than $1,000. And in some cases, way less than that. Some of these turned into 6 figures a year. A couple of them turned into empires. And the last one on this list, number 1, made more money than the other 11 combined. Stick around, because the pattern that connects all 12 of these is more useful than any single idea on this list. Let's start at number 12. Number 12, mobile car detailing. Number 12 is mobile car detailing, started by a guy we'll call Marcus with about $200 in basic supplies. He bought a shop vac, some microfiber towels, and a few bottles of wax, then posted before and after photos of his own car online. Within a month, he had 5 regular clients paying $80 to $150 per detail, and he was doing it all in their own driveways, so he never had to rent a shop. 2 years in, he had a part-time employee and was clearing around $6,000 a month, all from a $200 starting kit. Number 11. Pressure washing. Number 11 is pressure washing, and this one might have the lowest barrier to entry on the entire list. A woman named Priya rented a pressure washer for about $60 a weekend and started cleaning driveways and sidewalks for neighbors. She charged around $120 per driveway, and after her 3rd weekend she had made enough to buy her own machine outright. By the following summer, she'd added house siding and fences to her services and was booking 2 to 3 jobs a day on weekends alone. Number 10. Handmade candle business. This number 10 is a handmade candle business, started with less than $100 in wax, wicks, and second-hand jars. A woman named Elena melted her first batch of soy wax on her apartment stove and poured it into thrifted mason jars. She sold her first 20 candles to co-workers and friends of friends for about $18 each, barely breaking even after materials. 18 months later, she had a small online shop, a wait list for holiday scents, and was shipping candles to customers in over a dozen states. Number 9. Freelance resume and LinkedIn writing. Number 9 costs almost nothing to start because the only tool required is a laptop most people already own. A man named Devan had spent years in corporate hiring, and he knew exactly what made a resume get noticed versus ignored. He offered resume rewrites for $75 each on a freelance marketplace, and his first 5 clients all left 5-star reviews. A year later, he'd raised his price to $200 per package, hired 2 contractors to help with volume, and was earning more than his old corporate salary, working 15 hours a week. Number 8. Dog walking and pet sitting. Number 8 might be the most low-risk business on this entire list. A college student named Tasha spent $20 on flyers and posted a profile on a pet-sitting app, then started walking 3 dogs in her neighborhood after class. She charged $20 per walk, and within a semester she had a rotating client list of over a dozen dogs, all scheduled around her class hours. By the time she graduated, she'd added overnight pet sitting for double the rate, and was making more from dogs than most of her friends made from part-time retail jobs. Number 7. Flipping thrift store finds. Number 7 is proof that you don't need to invent anything. Sometimes you just need a sharp eye. A guy named Owen started with $50, spent it all on clearance rack clothes and old electronics at a thrift store, and resold every item online. His first $50 turned into about $210 after a week of listings, so he reinvested every cent straight back into more inventory. Within a year, he'd rented a small storage unit, built a following for vintage streetwear specifically, and was clearing 4 figures a month buying low and reselling smart. The 2-person story. Before we go further down the list, here's a comparison that explains why some people cross this list off and others just keep watching videos about it. 2 friends, we'll call them Sam and Jordan, had the exact same idea on the exact same weekend. Start a small pressure washing side hustle. Sam rented a machine that Saturday for $60 and cleaned 2 neighbors' driveways before dinner. Jordan decided to wait until he'd researched the best machine, the best pricing model, and the best logo, just to be sure he did it right. 6 months later, Sam had 22 regular customers and had already paid off his own machine. Jordan still hadn't washed a single driveway. He was still perfecting the logo. The businesses on this list weren't started by the smartest people in the room. They were started by the first person willing to get the equipment wet. Okay, back to the countdown. Number 6. Number 6. Mobile notary service number 6 required a bit of paperwork, but almost no money. A woman named Grace spent about $300 getting certified as a mobile notary. She charged $75 to $150 per appointment, driving to people's homes for real estate closings and legal signings. Within 2 years, she'd built relationships with 3 local real estate offices who sent her steady referrals, and she was earning more per hour than she had at her old office job. Number 5. Local social media management number 5 needed nothing but a phone and a willingness to ask small businesses an uncomfortable question: who's running your Instagram? A guy named Malik walked into 5 local coffee shops and offered to manage their social media for free for 1 month, just to prove it worked. 2 of the 5 shops saw their foot traffic noticeably increase, and both signed on to pay him $300 a month each afterward. 18 months later, he was managing accounts for 11 small businesses and had brought on a part-time photographer to help keep up. Number 4. Used vending machine route number 4 takes a little more capital than the others on this list, but it's also one of the most passive. A man named Felix bought one used vending machine for $600 and placed it in a small auto repair shop's waiting room. He split the profit with the shop owner, and after restocking once a week, he was clearing around $150 a month from that single machine. 3 years later, he owned 14 machines across gyms, laundromats, and repair shops, and the whole route brought in steady income without him ever quitting his day job. Number 3. Handmade soap and skincare number 3 started in a kitchen too, but this one grew into something bigger than almost anyone expected. A woman named Renata spent about $100 on oils, lye, and molds to make her first batch of handmade soap. She sold her first batch at a weekend farmer's market for $6 a bar and sold out completely within 2 hours. 4 years later, her soap and skincare line was stocked in over 30 independent stores, and she'd moved production into a rented workshop space with 2 full-time employees. Number 2. Freelance video editing number 2 is proof that a skill you already have might be worth far more than you think. A guy named Theo had been editing videos for fun since high school, and one day he offered to edit a stranger's YouTube video for free just to build a portfolio. That one free edit led to a paid gig worth $80, then another, then a referral, all without him spending a single dollar to start. 2 years later, he was editing full-time for 5 different online creators, charging over $1,000 per project, and had turned down his old job offer twice. That brings us to number 1, the business that made more money than everything else on this list combined. And it's not glamorous, it's not exciting, it's not even something most people would brag about at a dinner party. Number 1. Residential cleaning service number 1 is a residential cleaning service, started by a woman we'll call Anna with about $75 in basic supplies. She started with 2 houses a week, charging around $80 per clean, and reinvested nearly every dollar into more supplies and better transportation. Within a year, word of mouth alone had her fully booked, so she hired her first employee just to keep up with demand. 5 years in, she wasn't cleaning a single house herself anymore. She was running a company with 18 employees and a fleet of branded cars. By year 8, the business was doing more in annual revenue than most people make in a decade, all from $75 in cleaning supplies and a willingness to knock on the first door. The businesses that made the most money on this list were never the flashiest ones. They were the ones that solved a problem somebody already had. So here's the actual takeaway from all 12 of these stories. Not one of them required a rich network, a business degree, or some secret opportunity nobody else could see. They required somewhere between $0 and $1,000, a few free evenings, and the willingness to be a beginner in public. If one of these 12 stuck out to you, drop the number in the comments. I read every single one, and it helps me know which of these to dig deeper into next. And if you want more real breakdowns like this, no hype, no guarantees. Just what actually happened. Hit subscribe because next week's list might be the one that gets you off the couch.